It's the weekend, it's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Dave, Pete and Warren. Lads, let's get right into it with the hot topic. What's the worst weather you've ever watched or played football in? Pretty obvious news story, this one, I think.
What are you going for? I don't know. I mean, I've played golf in horrendous conditions, and it's probably not far from you, I suppose, Les. Portal Golf Course. Is that? No, it is still miles away from you, isn't it?
Where's that?
Portal. It's definitely on your side of the river. Yeah, have a look. Portal Golf Course, and for some bizarre reason, they left it open. It's a championship golf course as well. It's private. It's not like municipal. You know, we can just rock up in your trackies or anything like that. You've got to go with like all the bells and whistles on it.
Oh, that's in Tarpley, Dave. That's miles away. That's in deep Cheshire.
Is that not near you? Or was it?
No. Yeah.
No, it's probably quicker for you. All right, then. It's quicker for you to get it than for me, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, just about like by 2 minutes. And yeah, turned up to play. And it was just like, it was spitting a little bit, you know what I mean? So I've brought me jacket and all that just in case, like the wetsuit and stuff. And after about the third hole, mate, I'm not joking, I've never seen rain like it. It was biblical. It was unbelievable, the rain. Now, with golf in general, it's either one or the other, rain or wind. It's like the both of it is just pointless. And it started blowing a gale as well, mate. And honestly, we played the full 18 and I came off it. Couldn't even put on the greens. It was that wet. Do you know what I mean? It was just underwater. I was just saying to me mates, like it was a competition we were playing in just between us. There was like 8 of us. So what are we playing at here? And everyone was like, "Oh, it's a bit of a laugh and all that, isn't it?" I was like, genuinely, I would pay to get them 4 hours of my life back. The conditions, mate. Honestly, I've never played golf like that. And you know, it spoils your day. Yeah. Like I don't mind a bit of rain.
I once hacked my way around.
Did you?
Oh, it's horrible when it's like that, though. I once hacked my way around Hoylake Muni in a like full-on hurricane. It was dreadful, and I'm crap at golf. I don't even like it, so that made it even worse.
Forced to go and do it.
Oh, just quickly, Dave. I was watching the Traitors final last night, and they've got this peacock in the grounds of like the Traitors like gaff where they all stay. And every time I see a peacock now, I just think about you getting legged by one on a golf course. I just like,
bless you, mate. Bless you. Warren, still there waiting for me. I've not played that golf course since. Still guarding the outskirts.
Warren?
Well, the coldest Everton game I've been to was when we played Wolfsburg away. I've never known. There was lads going in the toilets afterwards, not to go for a piss or nothing, just to keep warm, put the hands under the hair dryer, you know, the hand dryers to keep warm. But actually, mine was this week. We, the school, the girls had a National Cup last 32 game, and we travelled to this school about an hour and a half away, and we get there, and they said to us, he said our fields in the last hour, just with the rain, have just got completely flooded. So we're like that thinking, oh no, like game's got to be cancelled. He said, but we've managed to sort of 4G pitch out other side of the town. So we go to this other school to play. And you know when you can see like about, it looks like it's in the distance, but it's just this black clouds, like thick black clouds. And I go, it's all right, it's over there, it's sunny here.
You think that's going to pass?
Yeah, and the next thing, Dave, everyone, I'm not kidding you, the rain was just, it like, you know, the way like it hurts when it bounces off your head, it's that thick, the raindrop. The wind was just something else. The rain passes, but the wind stayed. And you know, when you're damp, and I had all my like school gear waterproofs on. I was running the line for them. And I'm running up and down the line with my hoods up, hunched up like that. And it's like it soaks right through. And you know when it soaks right through and the wind blows on you and it just makes your bones cold. Couldn't feel my feet. Couldn't feel my feet at the end of it. It was horrible. And all the girls, bless them, we just wanted to get back on the bus at the end of it because we could turn the heating on. So after about an hour of thawing out and getting back, my foot, even now, this was on Thursday, my toes on my feet are still stinging me now, just from like not being able to feel. Horrible it was, but we came away with the win anyway, so that was the main thing. But yeah, that was a wind, like you said, Dave, the combination of wind, rain, and then all of that. You know, we can't just be cold, we can't just have rain. The combination of them both, horrible.
Do you know what I was going to say there, though? I was just going to say, when you get on a bus when you're soaking wet, and the bus is going to be roasting inside, which is great, but the windows steam up, and it feels like you're in a sauna, like an ice cold sauna. It's like it's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
And I remember one time in school, like it started off a scrap in one of our school buses. We were coming back from a match. And someone said, "You need to open those windows now because everyone's sweating all over the place." And like, no, we're all freezing as well. So like people started kicking off. But how bad's a bus? Have you ever got a bus from town or anything like that? Just any bus from anywhere, and it's absolutely steaming hot in the middle of it because it's been raining and it steams up on the outside. It always happens in winter. Yeah,
but
it's
horrible. When that happens, Dave, you have got to draw the cock and balls on the window. That's just the rule.
Oh yeah, mate. I used to draw cock.
I write TFC. I write TFC on it.
And if anyone's written LFC, you turn it into an E.
Yeah,
an E. Yeah.
Pete.
Stoke away. Probably a really common answer, to be honest. That was just the most bizarre thing. Because if you remember, it started off and it was fine. Yeah, it was the first half as well, wasn't it? Was it the first half where it just absolutely hammered down and we got to half time and everyone was just, but it was the most bizarre snow I've ever seen in my life. It full on came down to the point where, like, it was probably about 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, there was a good few inches of snow, but just on everyone. Everyone was just completely covered. I remember going down to the concourse and just seeing, and there was literally like big, thick things of snow on everyone's head. That was like really bizarre. That just the way it came on.
It was funny, wasn't it?
Didn't they clear? They only cleared their goal area or something.
Yeah,
and then left ours.
Yeah,
cheeky that. Another one. You know, Warren mentioned Wolfsburg. Young boys away was ridiculous. I've never been that cold in my life. That was absolutely freezing, and it was weird because I ended up with sunburn because it's so high up. It's like, you know, in Switzerland. So we were out in this square all day. We travelled on the coach. We got there about 9:30 in the morning, and we realised that the coach driver we were staying in Bâle, I think it was, and then the match was in Bern. But the coach drivers had decided to get their hotel in Bern. So basically, they had to drop us off at the hotel, drop our bags in, and then we had to get straight back on the coach to then go straight to the town. And we were all expecting like a good 3 or 4 hours sleep after like a big, like, long journey. So we ended up got on this square about 9:30, all absolutely hanging out our asses. And then we were just in the square all day. Ended up sunburnt because it was high up, as I say. It was freezing cold, but like you could feel, you know, you couldn't feel your fingers, couldn't feel your toes. And then the match, and weirdly, the match that night was the first time I'd ever seen Speedo Mick, and he was in this seat next. There was like a little cage on where we were. There was a cage, and then the rest of the Evertonians were the other side. And Speedo Mick was right next to us in his Speedos. Jesus. And I just remember thinking, you're absolutely mental, because I was freezing and I had about 10 layers on. And this, you know, and Mick was there, stood there in his Speedos. I thought, you lunatic. But in terms of playing as well. Hey?
Is he retired now? I haven't seen him for years.
Yeah. He hit the million, didn't he? He broke the £1 million, and he said like that was his target. So he ended up, he's, yeah, you say retired. I think it takes a lot out of him in terms of like time away from his family and his injuries as well. I think you can kind of underestimate just how much of a toll that takes on your body. You know, walking that far and like I say, doing it when you're not wearing much either probably doesn't help.
Marathons, he must pick marathons though. Him.
I used to marathon. Well, yeah, I don't know whether he does running though. I think it's walking. I remember when I used to do like flags for him when I worked in my mate's company, and we used to sort of like flags and things for his and like, you know, t-shirts and print his Speedos for him. And he used to walk from Heighton. He'd walk from Heighton to come down to Smithdown Road. And I'd be like, just get the bus, lad. Or like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm training. And then he'd like walk from Smithdown into town to go and see someone else. I'd be like, you're a lunatic. But he was great.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that. Couple of answers to this. Liam said Krasnodar at Goodison was freezing. Dave think he was mine. In terms of cold, Alkmaar, ridiculous. Dave from Skem, the Michael Fish hurricane. We're talking 1986. 7 here, I think.
7.
First half was uphill against the wind in the Liverpool Cup semi-final as a kid. We had a cup quarter-final like that when I was at uni. Played away at Brunel University. I think we scabbed a goal in the first half when the wind was blowing our way from a corner. And then the second half, we didn't get out of our own half. The entire half, I'm not even messing. We never got past the halfway line. Totally scabbed the win. And then robbed a microwave and a kettle from the student union.
They're not conditions to play in, are they? You can't play in them conditions.
Thing is, the Brunel University's down in Windsor or something, so it was like we weren't like going home and going back to play it. So I think they just had to, but it was bad. Tangled Up in Blues.
Has anyone ever played at Otterspool? Sorry to interrupt. Otterspool, that was the worst one when I was in school. Like, there's like a pitch by Otterspool.
Yeah,
and it's just completely open. It's ridiculous. It's so bad.
Yeah, there's one like that over our side. I think it's Mayfield's, which is New Ferry's pitch. It's right on the Mersey, so it just gets so much wind. Tangled Up in Blues. Irish so played in and stood uncovered at far too many stormy, blizzard, sleety, rainy matches, often in the same half, to recall one that stands out as the worst. Sounds rough, that. Mike, Bradford away, December 1999, the coldest he's ever been. Stu, coldest game was the defeat to Bate Borisov. Took until Boxing Day to defrost. And Stephen said, when I was young, I played football in the snow and getting a ball volleyed at my thigh was not fun.
Oh.
Does anyone remember Tough Tex footies? They were like vinyl, just one coat vinyl, so no panels on them, like rubber.
That's proper Dixie Dean days there, Les.
These the footies we used to old man Roberts' back. These the footies we used to play with in school, and honestly, if you got one to your ear or your inner thigh and it was cold, genuinely no pain like it.
You're not like a med ball like you get in the gym. It sounds like
it. It was basically like playing football with a basketball, but it was like football size and weight, but like basketball, like consistent. Oh, it was grim.
You remember playing with those ones? It's like the noise. The noise used to knock me sick when you hit it.
Yeah,
like this isn't a footy. It just felt horrible. It was like almost like you'd expect a rugby ball to be.
Yeah,
the texture on the outside of it.
Yeah, it wasn't right. God, yeah, I forgot it just didn't sound right. And if it deflated a little bit, it was even worse.
It was just like this tin noise, wasn't it, when you did it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's bad? In my primary school, we weren't allowed footballs on the yard, so we used to play footy with stones.
We did.
Like, we used to literally get like chunks of stone. So, like, if you think getting it in the shin with a footy's bad, try a sharpened brick. Because apparently it was unsafe to have footballs flying around the yard.
In what world is that a good idea? Give you a tennis ball at least.
Ours was like in our junior school. Some girl, it's terrible, but it sounds like it was some sort of legend. But some girl broke her leg in 2 places, playing on the playground, right? And the way ours was in Thomas Gray, it was like half of it was gravel and half of it was grass. And the grass was great in the summer. It was lovely the way they mowed it and all that. It was great. Because this happened to this girl, she broke her leg in 2 places. No one knows how, but we weren't allowed to run on the playground. You were not allowed to run, but you could only run when you were on the grass part, and you'd only open the grass part when it was nice outside. Yeah. This is how it sounds strict, this, doesn't it? So you weren't allowed to footy on, obviously, and obviously you couldn't run. We ended up playing footy with a stick. No, honestly, Les, I'm thinking, what was going on there? What was life like back in junior school? And we played with a stick. We played doubles with a stick.
Yours and Pete's experiences there sound worse than my Victorian childhood. That's crazy. Couple more hot topics here. First one from Rob. I'm going to swap my hat for this. Got the Underberg hat.
Oh, nice.
Who had the best hat this week? Milana Trump or Peter Reid?
You on Robin Hood, it looks like.
Hey,
it's the Underberg one from the Denby. I think I got it on the wrong way.
You have got it on the wrong way, I think. Yeah.
Here we go. It's better.
Yeah.
Well, you look a bit Poundland Ku Klux Klan there, Les, but we'll let you off.
Well, hang on. What was the question again? Wow. If I put on a jaunty angle, is that better?
That's better, yeah. Melania Trump's was outstanding hat wear. That was fantastic. God, I don't know if you.
Edie's was a belter as well.
Do you know what? I loved I saw a tweet at Peter Reid's one about the Rex banner on The Simpsons. the thing off The Simpsons
yeah.
where he says, and he seems to be strolling around saying, "I've got a new hat." And it put that, and it was Peter Reid. It was brilliant. Yeah, they were both outlandish choices of headwear this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go Reedy just because it's Reedy. And has anyone got a favourite hat?
Famous hat?
Favourite hat?
Oh, that's a good question, that.
I've got all.
Do you know what? As you lot know, I love me baseball, and I never used to be into the snapback hat. So for those of you, most of you probably will know, but the snapbacks where you've got the very wide beak, and the reason I didn't like it is because a lot of you'd see a lot of the hip hop artists wearing them in the videos and stuff, and I thought I'm too old for that. I'm not going to get away with wearing one of them, and I just didn't like the shape of it anyway. But I started curving the peak, so it looked like it was a bit, it looked a bit more wearable, and now that's all I wear. So them snapback baseball caps for me.
I think I've got a cap signed by Daniel. What's his bloody name? He played for us. Who scored the goal in the semi?
Amakachi.
Yeah, I don't think of his name. I've got a cap signed by him.
Oh, nice.
I remember at the time I got it done because, again, our school went to Goodison for a tour, and it was him and Joe Parkinson doing the tour and all that. So everyone's made up, these famous footy players and all that. I've got a shirt, the NEC, the white one with the grey stripes, the infamous one. Got that signed by Joe, and the other one, I didn't have anything else, so I got this cap out, this Everton cap I had, and I was made up because my dad bought me it in the shop, in, I don't know, recent weeks or something like that, and he'd signed it because he's got such a long name. It's all over it. I remember absolutely fuming that he'd rep me cap because it's a signature all over it. I thought, can't he have signed it on the inside or something like that?
Front.
Can't wear that now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I had? Do you know what I had when I was a kid? Do you remember Everton Radio? Everton Radio used to be on match day.
16:02 a.m.
So I had the cap with the little thing in the sides, which was the radio. Yeah. And then it had the speakers comes up, the headphones comes up. So it was this cap, and the cap was only about the size of your head. With the radio plug-in, it made it massive. So you're wearing this massive cap on this little head, but it had FM and AM radio in it. So you could walk around listening, but it was crap because you'd listen to it for an hour and the batteries would die on it. So you had to get new batteries. And the whole and it has also an aerial, so you pull the aerial up like that, top of your head, so you'd walk around with this big head. You look like a right weirdo with it.
Tell you what, when you think Radio Everton was groundbreaking stuff at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, that was late 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, mad. Pete,
something to be said about the downward spiral of caps and headwear. When you think back to the 90s and noughties, when we had those drinks ones where you could put
the Homer Simpson ones.
Yeah. So you put drinks in and it had a little straw and all that. And say you've got a radio one. How boring are they now?
I know.
How boring are they? But I've got
anymore.
No, that's it. Maybe we should start thinking outside the box a bit more and bringing back.
Well, funnily enough, this Underberg hat, it has got two little things on the side there to put a little bottle of Underberg in. So this is.
Oh, that's even right. There we go.
Yeah.
That is my new favourite hat, Les. That is the answer. Your hat.
I'm going to swap it again now.
Is that not worse because you can actually smell it?
What's that?
There's the Les we know.
I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, all these hats from the long shot. I can fully recommend it. Mike, he's a toffee. Well, he's a sort of lapsed toffee. He was never into football much as a kid, but was a toffee. Went to one Everton game and never went to another football match in his life. But he makes brilliant hats.
Can I just say, by the way, Les, just before you answer it, the reason I'm absolutely pissing myself here is Warren talking about Everton FM with a massive radio on his head. And I'm looking at Pete here. He's got his headphones on. It looks like he's about to start DJing like David Guetta. And I'm looking at you with that hat on. I'm thinking, this is pure comedy. Looking at you three listening to the story.
Go and get your Amakachi hat, Dave. By the way, if anyone listening or watching had an Amakachi beret, let us know.
Oh yeah, the Amakachi beret, yeah. That should be in the Everton tour, that stadium tour or the museum. Nah.
I'm sorry to the way I sound here, lads, but it looks like Pete's about to just get on Apollo 11. looks like Warren's in a call centre. I can't unsee it now from what you said about Everton.
Another hot topic here from Stephen. After a certain social media app owner's gesture this week, what is something you've denied doing despite clear evidence that you did it?
Good question. Great question.
I'm not grasping myself up for this one.
Isn't it, really?
No. They're always odd ones, these ones where you've got to own up to something.
Yeah.
I think I've this is I don't know, I'll say it. You're new in our WhatsApp group, aren't you, Warren?
Yeah.
But I often get accused of certain accounts being followed on the Blue Room's Twitter, and people assume it's me. I have no idea why, but I'm assumed that it's me that follows these outrageous accounts, and it isn't me. And I'm still convinced to this day Paddy Boylan's got the login details. But do you remember this, Les? Do you hear what I'm saying then?
Yeah. The dodgy account is definitely you, Dave.
No, it's not me at all. It's not me at all. I'm a happy married man. I don't need to see such credence.
Yeah,
it's the first I've heard of it, and it's definitely Dave.
See, the only reason I mention this is because it's not me, and it's just backfired.
Well, yeah, that's what someone
Dave.
say.
This is your chance to admit to something when you know that you. This is the whole point of the question.
Well, I spent some time looking at yours, and not you, Les, because you're quite honourable. But I remember looking at yours there, Pete, and you've got like Television X and everything on yours, mate. So you don't start throwing stuff towards me.
I can happily pass the Chico Azul test. Thank you very much. I'm very careful with who I follow. I do not get horny on Twitter.
Oh no, but do you know I sound like a bad nonce saying this now, but
God, I never like it when a sentence starts like that, Dave. Honestly, I'm never comfortable.
If there's Evertonian men or ladies, or should I start that with ladies or men that are Blues, it's innocent, isn't it, to follow?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be Russian without any language or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's quite clearly a bots, but normal people you can follow, and that's innocent, isn't it?
That is right. Warren, go ahead.
So, whilst
mate, you need to watch what you're saying here. You're a teacher.
It's just that I never thought of a sentence start like that. It's just broke me. I've done the. I'm one of them. Like, if I let off a bad fart, I'll admit it was me. If it's a bad smell, I'll admit. I'm happy to own up to that. But there have been occasions where I've maybe been in a group where it's maybe not the best etiquette, or you don't know them as well, and you've just had to let one go, and the smell is like egg on toast gone off 5 times over. And who was that? And I've gone, when it was me, I've been like, that's terrible, that smell. Who's done that? You need to go and see a doctor. That's awful.
It's not to the kids as well. You're standing there like that. Yeah. Who was that?
Do you know what? So do you know what? Right. So this is true. The other day I was in. This was about a month or two ago. I'm in one of the classrooms and I'm covering a lesson. So I don't normally teach inside the room. I'm obviously outside doing PE. And one of the kids like let off a massive fart, and they all start laughing. Of course you do. What you gonna do? So they're all like that laughing, and at that point they were working quite well. So I'm like, right, okay, settle down. So they all settle down. And then he does it again. And it becomes a point now where it's becoming annoying because it's like disrupting and all that. So I just went, whoever that was needs to go to medical now, because you've obviously got issues there. So you need to go to see medical. Go downstairs now if you want to remove yourself from the classroom, and I'll send an email to Miss in the medical room to let her know you're on your way. Go on, off you go. And the rest of the lesson, then it was silence, because obviously no one wants to stand up and admit it was them. Yeah, so I go to the medical room, go and get your stomach sorted. You obviously need your gut sorting out. So off you go, stand up, whoever that was, go on. I'm like full on challenging whoever it is to stand up. And then in the end, they're all too embarrassed then. So yeah, I did that. But yeah, no, I've done the fart and then pretended it wasn't me, or, tried to pass it off that it wasn't me. So
what's the medical room all about, by the way?
When they feel sick or they get injured, or like we had a kid yesterday, thingy save a ball in goal, and he's done his hands, so we had to go to medical to get it. Like,
oh mate, there's got to be some blaggers who go there.
Oh, well, all the time. Yeah.
Start drawing
Final hot topic of the week.
Saying you've got chicken pox.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, all that.
Okay,
goes on.
final hot topic of the week here. I like that we've had 3 hot topics in from people. It's good. Tangled Up in Blue said, question. In the week that's in it, who's your favourite ever Blues right winger? Very snardily topical, that. I like that.
Oh, satire.
Travis Stephen for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't... Right winger to me is not really a thing. It's always been like left wings, like you in the football pitch I'm talking about now. Left wings, like your skillful left-footed player, isn't it? You don't really get it on the right hand side. Or there hasn't been a history of it on the right hand side, really. They're generally
like sort of more direct and fast, aren't they? Kanchelskis.
It's got to be Kanchelskis, Annie. There's no one come close. Kanchelskis was the most left-winged right winger in football.
Yeah.
He used to cut in onto his left, though, didn't he? He used to. He could hammer on with his left foot as well. Loved Andre Kanchelskis. Absolutely loved him.
With Andre there, it shows you how much I love him, because you probably can't see behind me, but you see the things that where I'm pointing. There, see that above me there?
Yeah.
That, like, so it's 2 pictures, and Trophy Art does little Sabutio men. So I got a Kanchelskis one there with the yellow and blue striped kit when he was with us in 96, 97. And
show us it. It's literally there. Go and grab it.
There's 2. Hang on. There he is. So
can't even so much further than that. I thought you wanted to get out your chair.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
The point
either that or you've got really long arms.
The point I was making is that it was in front of our wedding photo. That's how much I adore Andre, but this is it.
That's class, that.
That's boss,
isn't it?
In that nice kit, that away kit as well. Yeah.
I've got that kit. I've got that kit signed by him. And the silver one as well, the white and silver stripe one. So I had Kanchelskis on the back of that, and he signed the back of that. But then on the yellow one, I didn't have a name and number on the back, but I had it's got like a nice gap at the middle, at the bottom. So we're going to sign there, and then the program from the last game he played for us.
Well, that yellow black kit weirdly had Everton FC at the bottom, didn't it? On the front.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it looks boss with the signature. Yeah.
I treasure this guy so much, and it's got his Mizunos that he wore where he tied the long laces underneath it. Just love that proper Everton nostalgia. And then I still plug this every single time. Me and Matt interviewed him when he came up to the Radio City Tower when he just released his book. You'll find that there on the Blue Room if you give it a search.
Dig it back out.
Yeah, he's an angel as well, mate. He's just like, I adore that man, and his lad's boss as well. His lad's on Twitter, isn't he? And he's great as well. He's a massive Blue too. So, go and get them, because obviously there won't be too many games at the church, will there? Where they do market and stuff and all that. So
what are we down to now? 10, is it?
It's like single figures, isn't it?
Did he still sell them in the church, Dave?
I think so. Or you can order them. He's a cracking fella. You can order them on Twitter as well. But
how much are they?
I can't remember how much I paid for this, but I've wanted to paint it blue and all that, and then I've thought, no, I'll leave it to how it is. But it's been many times I wanted to get the little Sabutio man out, but it just ruin it. Because he's a tiny Sabutio fella as well.
Yeah,
you can see.
Love it.
Yeah.
You love that.
Ben has asked, and this is the most Australian start to a question ever. Is anyone else heap stoked to see a Ruminants back?
What the hell was that?
That was an Australian accent, mate.
Mate, it sounds like Keith mixed in with Ryan. That
Ben's going to batter me for that. But he said, is anyone else heap stoked? I love that. To see Irabunum back on the grass. I feel a lot of people forgot how much of a bright spark he was for us in those early games. Perfect Decore replacement right there, in my opinion. It is nice to see these midfielders coming back, him and Garner, isn't it? Because
so was that, Les?
Nice hat one. What?
Yes, there's the one there. One. Heap Stoke was that? What's that?
Heaps stoked. You made up, basically.
No, Stoke. Yeah, Stoke. I understand that's a foreign term, isn't it? Heaps.
Massively. Yeah. It's Australian,
I am.
That's why I did it in the Australian accent, the bad Australian accent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
glad to see them back.
Well, yeah, to answer the question, I'm delighted to see him back, but I'm not sure where he gets back in there in central midfield right now, because Idrissa Gueye has been, he's got a vote for one of the top, probably our top players so far this season, I think, under the radar slightly, I think. And then Mangala's really starting to step up too, isn't he, in the last couple of games, certainly against Spurs, so he's not going to start anytime soon, I wouldn't have thought.
No, it does look a good midfield too, that with them too. But I just think, like the Spurs game, maybe if you need another option to come on instead of the core and maybe shore things up, because at the end of that Spurs game, he looked knackered there. It was said this on the weekly, didn't we? To me, it was quite reminiscent of Bournemouth, but just didn't quite go all the way of Bournemouth, because you just thought when Ndai came off, that out ball had gone, and then the core looked knackered, and the players looked a bit tired towards the end. So I think when that's happening, we've not really got options. But now with Garner back and Ruben coming back, could be different, and we might be able to see out games a little bit more comfortably.
But would you not consider taking, because even the core in the game against Spurs, I thought he was average at best anyway. I think his best Everton days are well gone, I think, with the core. I'd throw him on for him and just see if he wants to, particularly away from home. I think if you play with a midfield trio there, without one of them really being an attacking midfielder, might well work, because you've got three really good quality midfield players there. And it's good for Moyes to have something to play around with there, isn't it? It's very rare there's a position in our team where you've got multiple players to have a look around with.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone else, any thoughts on it?
I think it's good to have. If Garner comes in and he does well, and he shows a little bit of maybe what he's shown in the past, then I think having someone on the ball, just taking care of the ball a little bit better, as opposed to, he's got the ability to do that. And I think, like you said, there's that midfield trio maybe of Guy, Mangala and Garner might just have it in them just for that last 15 minutes, keep hold of the ball a bit, slow the tempo down. So no, it's all positive.
Pete, you feeling good?
I am. I thought he was one of our best players earlier on in the season.
Yeah, he was.
And the other thing about him as well is that he was the only player at the start of the season who was dropping in and actually taking the ball off the back four and actually demanding the ball and getting in areas where he could actually progress with the ball as well. And I still think that's something that I want to see more from Mangala. I want to see him doing that more. I think Idrissa Gueye against Spurs was fantastic. I think he did try and get hold of the ball a lot more, but we're still lacking something in that midfield, I think, of someone who's actually going to drive from deep. And I think that Tim Iroegbunam is that player myself. So I'm really looking forward to it. James Garner as well, him coming back. I'm not totally convinced whether he comes straight back into that midfield, but he can certainly do a job in a number of areas, and he can actually cross a ball, which is nice. It'd be nice to see that.
Isn't it? It feels like he's not the best tackler in the team by any stretch, because I've seen him lose so many 50-50s, James Garner, but give him the ball, he can do something with it, can't he, that the others maybe can't. So
throw him at right back.
Yeah.
No, we've got big Jake O'Brien there now.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. He does.
Tell you what, again, we said this on the week. I'm bang into the way he's got that back 4, back 5 thing going on. Love that. It's good.
Back to the halcyon days of 5 centre halves, isn't it?
Oh, towarst the end of that first game, it was like watching a Walter Smith team. Every centre back was on the pitch. Mike has asked, in the good times era, have there been many sliding doors moments, signings, managers and results? Give me your best alternate reality Everton theory. So Steve replied to this with teams that missed out on Europe due to Heysel. Not going to get bogged down in the whys and whatnot to that.
Yeah.
But if you look at the list, it's actually mad. So we missed out on the European Cup in 2 seasons. Liverpool missed out in 2 seasons. Arsenal 1 season. We missed out on the Cup Winners' Cup, as did Coventry, as did Wimbledon, as did United and Liverpool. And then UEFA Cup, the teams you missed out on that: Liverpool, Spurs, Southampton, Norwich, West Ham, Man United, Sheffield, Oxford, Forest,
Oxford,
and Derby.
This is in the space of 5 years.
Yeah. So all those teams missed out on Europe because of that ban.
Unbelievable. There's a sliding doors moment there. Can you imagine how many teams would be in a decent spot right now that have all basically nearly come to not exist?
Yeah, it's nuts. It was just a ridiculous ban.
Yeah,
it was just stupid.
Do you know what I think's quite an underrated? Well, not really much talked about for us. And do you remember so the year after we won the cup, we had a really good season, and we just missed out on Europe at the end of the season. It was on goal difference, wasn't it, to Arsenal?
96.
Now, if we get
no,
if we get
it was a European ban.
No, 96 there wasn't.
96.
No,
it
wasn't.
No, so England got the Premier League got a team taken off Europe because Tottenham fielded the weekend side in the Intertoto Cup. Any other season, we'd have finished in Europe.
But what I'm saying is,
we fifth place was Europe, and that was it. I thought that was it. We finished it.
We would have got in sixth.
We finished sixth, didn't we?
Know that.
Yeah, sorry, Warren, go on. What were you saying?
No, it's just, but even with that, we still missed out on goal difference, didn't we? I think it was to Arsenal.
Right, yeah.
So if we'd have got that European spot that season, maybe we sign the players Joe Royle wanted to sign. Maybe Royle doesn't leave in 97, and maybe we go on to become quite a good team in the late 90s as opposed to the way it did go. I don't know.
I think the Joe Royle thing was definitely mine. So just to confirm on this as well, the Heysel thing that's too early. So the good times period, and I did confirm this with Liam, is 95 to present day. That
I
is
agree. That's a good time.
Warren, that fits in perfectly. But I think that's mine, Joe Royle, definitely.
No,
because
sorry, go on, Pete.
No, I was just going to say because I think Everton would tip for after the 95-96 season. Des Lynam famously on Match of the Day tipped Everton for the title. And I remember thinking, actually, do you know what? We've got an all right squad. And then, Les, you'll know, I've forgotten. Was it Angelo Flair we wanted to sign?
We wanted to sign.
Yeah, and they wouldn't sanction the move. So that's one of the reasons why he left. And was it Dion Dublin as well? Or was that Kendall? That was Kendall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Flo was a good player as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Dion Dublin and Andre Flo would have done a really good job for both of those teams there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, were you going to go then, Pete? Sorry, I'll go last. Come on.
Yeah, I was going to say the one for me in like quite recent times will be Carlo Ancelotti getting sacked just as we were about to announce David Moyes. We'd spoken to Moyes; he was pretty much it was a done deal, and then Ancelotti got sacked, and then it was like, right, we've got to go and get him. And then when you consider that was probably the moment where we sort of went over the line with PSR as well. With the signs that he made in terms of Alan, Decore, James, those sorts of players. I think the knock-on effect of that was probably, a big moment for us.
I agree.
But having said that, I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
The thing is, we would be in much better shape now if Moyes got the job at that point, wouldn't we? We wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Have had the last 5 years we've had.
No, and that's the thing. I think it would have been a bit more sensible, and I think if there was a chance, and we wouldn't have ended up having to endure Rafa Benitez as well. In which case we probably would have kept hold of Luca Dean. It's I've always said since Luca Dean's left, that's probably one of the biggest own goals that any Everton manager's made in recent times. It's up there with letting Lukaku go and not replacing him, and we still haven't replaced him. But Luca Dean was like the forefront of everything. I'm
convinced more than ever that like Benitez is definitely like a Manchurian candidate. He was dropped in to destroy that club.
100%.
Definitely.
But they'll love it, don't they? They've all got the flags and all that, haven't they? Saying like Agent Rafa and all that shit.
They're all singing his name, aren't they, in the derby?
Yeah. Mine will go for different to you guys here, but might be slightly more obvious. 04-05, obviously when we got into fourth place, they won the Champions League, as we all know. It's a 30-year anniversary coming up in May for them, by the way, which is remarkable, isn't it? Is it 30 years? No, it's 20 years, isn't it? 20, sorry. Not that old.
Have I got a 30-year-old son? No, he's 20.
Say, Jesus. Give me a heart attack then, Dave.
I know. Well, anyway.
I remember being in the pub.
Well, that year, obviously we missed out with Villarreal and all that, and surprisingly it's not Colina that I have to blame on what went forward after that, because obviously it's the sliding doors moment that had we got through against Villarreal and got the money that comes in from the group stages and all that. Mine was what we did after that. We did not capitalise on being a really good top four contender. And I think, who did we sign? Did we sign like one player or something like that?
Did we sign BT that summer?
No, he was there.
He came in the January.
Just have a look on the list there. if you look at the list there while I'm saying this, if you've got
Phil Neville. We signed Phil Neville.
We couldn't have spent more than like maybe 6 or 7 million quid. And I remember saying, so I sound like I'm some sort of genius here, but I remember the start of that 05-06 season thinking, do you know what? If Everton had taken that summer as the most we've ever spent, we'd be a side that still maintains as a Champions League qualifying contender. But we didn't, and obviously when we just went back down to a mid-table finish, wasn't it, in the season after? And the only other time that we did slightly get there, or probably should have, was hitting 70-odd points under Martinez. And even then as well, it's throw a bit of money in that summer. And I think the main one, just continuing with that, is what would have happened had Martinez still been there, having had the money to spend that Koeman had when he came in just after it.
We'd be in League Two.
Sorry, say again, Les.
We'd be in League Two if Martinez was still there.
Yeah. Oh, do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, no,
I'm not having
was, and we might see it with Moyes as well. Managers that missed out on having a financial kitty to go and do a bit of a spending spree. And that season there, 04-05, still had Bill obviously at the helm. We didn't sign anybody. Did you get that data, Les?
Yeah, so we've got Phil Neville, Per Krolderup. This is 05-06, by the way. Simon Davis, Mikel Arteta signed on permanently. Nuno Valente, Anderson Silva. So there wasn't much there. It was where the club did need to just like make a statement of intent there, didn't it? And really go for it. Not to the point where like Leeds did in '98, where they just imploded after it, but somewhere in the middle of what they did and what Leeds did.
We didn't have Yakubu by then. You needed someone like that in there. Obviously, Arteta was a masterstroke when we went and got him on loan initially, but then the rest of it you look at and you think, well, it's only going to stay for so long here if you're winning games 1-0 consistently, and that's where you get your 3 points from. That's still, it's still very temperamental, isn't it? It can be changed really quickly, which it was. I had an average season after that, and then fair play to Moyes. It's when we got into being consistent Europa League qualifiers, but Everton never got near a top 4 finish. It was like always between like 5 and 6 points. We finished behind them and whatnot. Yeah. And then on a consistent basis, we didn't sign players where you think you get 1 or 2 more, this can get serious. This can get like Spurs were, for instance, where their Champions League side weren't they under Pochettino, and what happened with them nearly going to win the league with Leicester in there. I just feel as if like the little moments we missed out, and I think we're on the Crespo one now. Given the fact you got Moyes in, you've got hopefully a comfortable season. We know what the narrative is. We're going to Bramley Moor as a Premier League side and all that. You get to this summer though, if Everton capitalise on that financially, what we're able to go and do with new owners, this is going to be another of those sliding door moments, I think.
Yeah, potentially. And I do trust Moyes with the money more than most others, I think. To buy players that are sustainable, really, or can build a bit of a sustainable model for the club, not just go out and buy shite. Because he did buy some crap, but the amount of players he bought, I think his strike rate was
for every bad player he signed another 4 or 5 who were pretty easy, didn't he?
Yeah, you think of master strokes like Pienaar. That was incredible. Went and got Pienaar. You look at Baines as well when you go back.
Lescott, all of them.
He was asked at his presser yesterday about what we're going to do in the next week or so, and he said, like, I'm pretty confident we're going to get a couple of players in before the window closes. And then he was asked, you look at Championship, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. That's where we start looking about. He said, I haven't fully had the discussion of how much I've got to spend here. And he said, I think Vinny O'Connor said to him, where are you looking to go? And he said, obviously the Championship's one of the first places. And then he started reeling off a couple of players that have done really well there in recent times. Like Rodgers, is it who went to Villa? Is that the lad who's there? Sorry?
Philogene, the one who's just gone
to
he
mentioned him.
We were after,
He mentioned him and a few players that have come through. I think Ferguson at Brighton, I know he's gone off on the boil a bit now, hasn't he? But
Palace have just signed that right back from Millwall as well, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. And
he said Palace, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, look at what
Yeah.
Bournemouth have gone and done. So there are those little gems there, and I think he sort of enjoys that element. What he went and did with Bowen as well.
Yeah.
You know, and then he said as well, which I thought was really interesting. It's almost like he called it out a little bit with Thelwell with not so many words, but it was, we've got to look at our academy.
Yeah,
And obviously we can't right now because it just looks like it's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? With Harrison's coming, hasn't he? He looks really good, really promising young midfield player. But other than that, maybe not. I don't know where the lad. What was his name? The lad who played right back against Spurs did a really good job. And no one's ever seen him since. Where's he gone?
Roman Dixon.
I don't know. I think he was fishing on the lake in Stanley Park. I don't think anybody's seen him since then. But yeah, that's sort of wrong way around to be saying that's where there's an opportunity for Everton to go again here. The third time we call in recent times. Let's hope it's third time lucky with that.
I love that we are currently in the midst of a sliding doors moment. Brilliant. Speaking of good times as well, Liam has asked, what's the best Goodison chippy? Dave is not allowed to evoke George Jerry's or start all the salad cream nonsense. So
I don't know then.
I need to.
Liam spoken.
I need to try, Les, that one you swear by. I've still not been there yet.
The Chongqing on is it Walton Road or County Road there by the Oak? What road is it? Is that Walton Road?
The Oak,
No,
that's where it goes from County to Walton Road. There,
is it? Right, okay, yeah. So there.
Yeah.
So do you mean Road, the as if you're heading towards town, that side of the Oak?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to try that one then.
Yeah, swear by that. Been going there for Jesus.
I can't. Hang on a minute. Can I just
been
go
going there for like 26 years now, man?
Why am I omitted from this? When
you're in. You just can't say.
Everyone knows what I'd say. Yeah.
Salad cream.
Right.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I tell you? The Tropicana's good. Tropicana's good up by Walton Church. That's a great chippy. That always had a good portion of chips in there. Yeah, brilliant.
There's a great little place for a scran. It's not a chippy though. There's a boss little place. It's not a chippy though, called Umami on City Road, just up from the William Hill, and it's an absolute belter. It does like it's not a chippy though, but it does like street food, but like it's all like, I don't know how to put it. You know, like cheesy fries and all that type of thing, like loaded fries and like loads of fried chicken bits. You can get like wraps and all that type of burgers. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, Umami, it's called. It's like proper City Road. So you know when you go up past the William Hill, past the Trinity statue, as if you're going away from Goodison. You go up City Road, and then there's like a little there's like a news agent on the right, and if you carry on, it's a little bit further down. It's amazing. What's happened to my screen here?
We should all become like that fella. I found him quite annoying me. You know, the one on Instagram who goes around rating places and he gets a lot of free food. Should do the Blue Room version of that.
A Goodison special.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think we should. I'm in.
Just for the final season, you know.
That'd be a great little mini TV series, YouTube series. That.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, because it is the last season. Say it's the perfect time to mention it, Les. I think anyone who's got any suggestions we should be doing on the last few months of the season, I think throw it in towards us, because I think it'd be really interesting if we went and did that sort of thing, you know, with any couple of months.
Yeah, I'm into that. Have you got one, Dave, by the way?
Round there? No, I don't think I have, to be honest with you. I find just general chippies by footy grounds like much of a muchness, and that's by no means to slag them off, because they're all really good. I mean, I just get curry and chips. I'm that type of guy around. I don't know if I get it before or after. Really, I don't really care. Afterwards, probably not, because I generally want to break away as soon as I can when the game's finished. Like you like to run away 10 minutes to go, don't you?
75.
You're 75, yeah. Has anybody asked, by the way, surely someone must have asked about the ballot? Did that not be mentioned at all?
The final question from Stu is a little bit on now, so we'll get to that in a minute. We've got, let's say, 15 minutes left. Right, a bit more on Goodison. Ian has asked, what's the best nets we've ever had at Goodison Park? Mine were the ones we had in the first season of the Premier League. They were honeycomb shaped.
What? I see what you mean. Yeah.
Do you know what? I just want a return of the stanchions. I don't want these box nets anymore. I want a return of the stanchions. Blue nets, blue and white net hybrids would be nice. Bring the stanchions
nice
back.
Drape at the back of the stanchion, not like square. A nice drape. Yeah.
And I want to see goals again, because these are lost to time now. I want to see goals that get stuck in the stanchion when you're.
Oh yeah, love a bit of that, mate. They're proper school goals, them, aren't they?
Yeah, box nets, nah, not for me anymore. I'd
I
love
bet
them
you-
when they first come in, but not anymore. I want the return of the stanchion and the triangle nets.
The thing as well is, aside from getting stuck in the stanchion, when it's got that like little drape at the back, when it hits that and ripples down, the noise is just
yeah.
lovely.
That stanchion, though, can you imagine nowadays if they had them and the ball wouldn't fully cross the line? I bet you that'd happen if you hit the stanchion, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but the sound of it when it hits the top corner and it comes off that and it just but yeah, that's probably do you know what, Dave? That's probably the reason why they don't have them anymore.
Good point. Yeah, it is. I think what were you actually talking about, like World Cup final '66 kind of goals, where it's just like almost like a
No,
10
I'm talking about '80s, '90s goals where just watch any highlights from Premier League in the '80s, in the '90s, and that's what I mean. Them there, but he's talking about the colour, the question, and I just go for it.
The honeycomb's an interesting design for the nets.
Yeah, I do like the idea of blue nets.
Yeah,
no, I think that those blue nets, they're obviously the idea is obvious for us, isn't it? But I don't think this sounds silly, I think, but it doesn't feel like the shot that goes in it is good enough. Did we not have them when I know? Did we not have them when we had Rodriguez? I'm pretty sure we did.
Oh, I don't
when the season he was with us, did we have dark coloured nets then? The only thing that sticks in my mind is the one he scored against, was it West Brom, when he scored his first goal for us, and he pings one into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Was it dark? Was it?
No, I think they were. Well, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were white.
Were they white? Yeah, because it's a few seasons since we've had dark, isn't it?
Like the blue nets for me were like late Moyes, early Martinez.
Just passed it to him.
You got it.
I think the white.
White, yeah.
I
mean, I couldn't change. I couldn't change away from white with the nets, to be honest with you. Only because I think the darker ones feels like you haven't properly scored. If you get what I mean, like it just looks like because they're so deep coloured. It looks like
because you've got the blue seats behind the stands, or the fans behind the stands wearing like normally dark clothing. It you don't see the white doesn't stand out as much.
Well, this is it. So with the season we had and I thought it was a really good season when we had the dark blue socks. That was the colour of the net that I'm on about, really. Like really navy, like deep blue that we had. When the ball hit them, to me, it just seemed like it hit a wall rather than actually hitting the net. So they've got to be white for me. But none of them where you could like actually, it's probably the size of your kitchen. But when they're that deep, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think like there's a sensible size. It's something interesting as well that I thought. Do you not reckon this should be like you can't go past a certain amount, like a Premier League thing? Do you know what I mean? Like obviously you got to have the size of a pitch has got to be within certain parameter.
The size of a
goal.
Interesting
if they made that about nets, wouldn't it?
There probably is something in the guidelines or the rules. Your net's got to be like this, yeah.
Yeah, like you could have your seat behind your seat with the net behind you or something like that.
Pete's asked, we've had this one before, but we'll do it again. Hard hat on, do we bin Z cars off for a new walkout tune at Bramley Moor? For what it's worth, he believes we should. I think we
bin Z cars off.
Yeah, I think we landed on
keep
Z cars, but sack off like grand old team.
Yeah,
I'm up for that. I think. Look, there's a lot of new going to happen with Everton in the next 6 months. There's a lot of new and a lot of welcomed, newness, if that's a word, into the club. But you've got to keep some traditions, and Z cars for me is one of them.
Yeah, you can't get rid of the Z cars. But what I do like though is
I've been the siren. I've had enough of the siren now.
Yeah, the siren's a joke. I can't like the siren. And
I don't agree.
Was that Belly related?
I quite like the siren as well.
I don't agree. I like
just
the siren.
It comes on, and I'm just. I know the idea originally was like the big games, but then
everyone gets up on the feet and all that.
Yeah, I suppose if you do only doing the big games, if you do it against Fulham or someone, it means you're not treating Fulham as a big game when it's a Premier League game, isn't it? But I'd just get rid of it. I just like the drums just kicking in out of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what the effect is for, is that siren was effectively to do the exact same thing as the drums do.
Yeah.
So when you're in there, it's like get on your toes and everybody starts roaring and all that when the drums start. It sort of felt like it's a bit too premature when you have the siren on, because everyone gets up then and already up when the drums start. When the effect of the drums is for everybody to sort of get to the crescendo with it. But the thing I was going to say was I'm really jealous of what Arsenal did. They had the wrestling themes on as they're going out. I thought that was class. Like they go, it was just, I think half time we could probably do it, couldn't we? When they come out to like Triple H.
Arsenal have got that really cheesy North London thing now, haven't they? The really forced thing where the ultras all hold up the scarves and that. It's awful. It's dreadful.
It's when you see them all walking through a tunnel with a drum. They're always doing that, taking towards the ground.
They are the most forced club, try-hard club, I reckon.
Which one? Both of them?
Arsenal.
Yeah. But with the wrestling, just imagine we came out to like the Undertaker, something like that. One of the night games, just turn on the light.
You'd light show for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. That or Kane or something like that with a fire. I think it'd be a laugh.
Couple more to finish. Keith, Charlie Adam looks like he's had a heavy time of it over Christmas and New Year. Oh, God. What's your favourite example of a retired athlete fully leaning into scran and ale after gym in the life of diet, exercise and discipline?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a bit kind to say Charlie Adam ever had a diet of exercise and discipline, looking at some of his player footage. But yeah, it is always funny, isn't it, when you see a footballer who's been pretty trimmed their entire life, within 6 months of hanging up the boots, they go massive because they just like get on it.
Well, there was a criticism of Jagielka, wasn't there, towards the end of his time? Because who was it that tweeted
that? He was just like approaching 40. It's like,
yeah, I know that, but no, I didn't say it. But what I mean by it is, someone put on Twitter the other day that it was the Coq Sportif. Obviously, he's going, isn't it? And people were saying, it's classic for us with the bib and all that. But someone put on it like, what?
that was Keith.
Was it? He said the idea was great, but it looked like Jagielka was wearing the bra.
Yeah.
I was like,
the thing with that kit is, right, Louis Zaha was a well-built fella, and even he looked like he was wearing a bra in it. It made him look weird.
The bib was too big. That kit, the bib, it only needed to be a little.
It was the line. It was the line
there, wasn't it? The bottom.
Yeah. It only needed to be small. That was the trouble. Yeah.
So any players who've like proper bloomed?
Well, sorry to say it, but Big Nev.
Oh yeah, God.
Southall didn't he, towards the end of his playing days, and then
Southall.
When he went, do you remember the game he was at Bradford, and their keeper got like injured with like 10 minutes before kickoff, and he stepped in, and like he was a big fella then, but he put out a game. Do you know what I mean? He was decent in goal, but I think he was definitely older than 40 then.
Yeah. Do you know what? A few years back, Everton under 23s had, it was either Portsmouth or Southampton down here, and they played it at Eastleigh, and because it's only like 20 minutes, half hour away, thought go down and watch it, and we were right by the dugout, and as the teams were coming out, the changing rooms on the far side, and they walk across the pitch to the dugout, and so we were right by it, and David Unsworth turns up. Oh my God, he's a big fella. He's had a few dinners in his time. That lad, he's a big lad. Yeah, so
even when Unsworth was playing though, when he wore those Puma shorts from the kit with the white down the side, they had some of the biggest shorts I think I've ever seen in my life.
Didn't do him well, that did they?
Do you know what? When do you know when he was at Wigan and he scored that penalty at Sheffield United to keep them up?
Yeah.
Like that was when he was at the end of his career there, and obviously, like you said, as you get older, you get it's more difficult to maintain your physique. And in them clips, he looked big as well. But God, don't want to run into him, and him stand still. God, I'm bouncing off him there.
Pete, I'm
not one to say there, like, but these had some cracking ideas for the chippies, wouldn't he, the lads?
And I'm not fat shaming or body shaming in any way. I'm just saying he's a big lad. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Pete, seen any players go big once they hung up the boots?
Original Ronaldo, but I think he started while he was still playing.
Still have him now,
also, he'll still do a job for us now. Wesley Sneijder, if you've seen him over the last couple of years, he was like ultra fit, and then he literally overnight. I'm sure the ball was the same. He basically retired. He was in like a charity match, and it was only a couple of months after he'd actually properly retired.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
it was like Ashley Williams coming back for pre-season.
His head is now perfectly spherical, isn't it? He's got a head like a Malteser now. It's
Who's
like
that?
properly round.
Wesley Sneijder. But if you have a look, he'd retired I think he'd retired in the summer or in like the May, and then he played a charity game like a couple of months after, and he was wearing like a, you know, just like a normal, like one of them sort of figure hugging ones, and honestly, he looked like he'd been retired 10 years, and it was more like 10 weeks.
Soccer Aid makes you feel good every summer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I think must have gone a chunk now? That I think it might not be obvious, but you remember Shaqiri? He was like, he was like a little Cuban, wasn't he? He must have put on. He must have put on a cube. Oh, and obviously Rooney as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rooney. Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know? I've just got up that picture of Nuno Valente in his Portugal kit. Where he's got about 6 chins.
It's his face that gets you. It's his face that gets you more than his body.
It's amazing. That's so funny.
I thought someone photoshopped that, you know, when you get the footy sticker of him.
Yeah.
And I thought someone's taking the piss out of him there. Do you know
It looks
what I mean?
like it done it.
There were layers, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant. Final one. Ben, we'll get to your one next week now. We're going to finish on Stews. With the first test event looming, do you ever wish you could go back and do some reconnaissance or testing before fully committing yourself to something? Ooh, anyone got tickets for the test event, by the way? We got 4 for the first one last night.
I got number 2. Sorry, I got the second one, not number 2. So did you, Pete, as well, didn't you? You got the second one.
Yeah, I got the second one last night, confirmed last night. I didn't actually apply for the first one because I don't fancy doing all the fire fire drills and all that.
Oh, we do fire drills.
I know that one.
You're going to be doing that, Les, in the stands.
Yeah.
Operation Bramley-Moore exercise is what it is.
For a YMCA in the stands.
Warren's going to have the most interesting answer there because we were having a chat about this. And
I'm waiting for
haven't you?
I'm waiting for the first official game, like first official league game. I'm waiting. I don't mind missing out. I know loads of people are excited, but for me, I'm like, no, they'll get me there when it's, you know, the first.
Yeah. And I was really jealous because in our group, well, me, Matt, and Les have for the content stuff. And Matt put his Les put his picture up there, and obviously he's got his lads with him as well. And they got that lovely. I was so jealous, like I felt like throwing my phone at the wall when he said, "Look, I'm going, lads." And then Matt replied to him saying, "I'll see you there, brother." I was like, "You fucking pair of villains." And it has his list, doesn't it? Your names, and it has the seat numbers next to each other and all that. I thought, that's proper. Here we go now, kind of thing.
I want to wait.
Four was in, and Joe got drawn out. So Joe's clearly the lucky one.
Got the 4.
Oh, really?
I want to wait till I bought my seat, my new season ticket seat, and I want the first time I go in there to be when I sit in my seat. Not
where are you?
One. I haven't got it yet because I've got to wait till the 29th I can buy mine. So on the 29th I'm getting mine.
What, Monday?
Yeah. Is that Monday? No, 29th Wednesday. You can get it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Wednesday? Yeah, we're the week after, aren't we, Les? 2 weeks after.
Yeah, we're the 12th. That's going to be it. I might take that day off. It's Derby Day as well, isn't it?
Well, we still haven't worked out what we're going to. I'm well, by hook or by crook. I've told Les he probably doesn't want me to, but I'm going to go and sit next to Les, right?
He's going to sit on my lap. We're just going to share a seat.
Mate, I'll bring you George Jerry's every game.
Right, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the thing with ours is, it's like we're working out how we do it together, so we all get next to each other. Do you know what I mean? Because he's having his 2 lads in the seats behind him, and him and his dad in the front, and I'm going to like tag on the end. But what we're thinking of is like it opens.
We need to work out with like,
doesn't it?
We need to work out like any more people getting them on that day. See where they're sitting and see if we can get together. If everyone's going to be in the same stand, that makes sense. Just to answer Stu's question,
I don't mind.
Oh, you got yours, Pete. Where are you?
East Upper.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
The other thing as well, I can actually still view even though I've already done it, I can still view the tickets that are available. So if you need any sort of guidance on whereabouts is still free, give us a shout.
Okay. I thought you were going to say some freebies for us then. The Blue Room Blue Room Club. Do you know, I was looking at that club view, and it does look really good. In there.
It's what? Yeah. A few of my mates are going in there.
Yeah, 1200, isn't it? You get a tenner for your drink and all that, and then like obviously it's you can get access to hospitality stuff if you want it and stuff, can't you?
The pubs look
good. What, sorry?
The pubs in there look good.
Yeah,
way they
yeah,
run
and
about.
the walkway with all the legend. We seen it, Pete, didn't we, when we went to visit them a couple of months back? But with that, it's like they've done really well in not going overly corporate, because that to me seems a decent little bit of a hybrid idea. Do you know what I mean? Because 1,200 quid is what I was expecting the price to be for an average seat, to be honest with you. So I think if you can go and do that with a bit of hospitality, I think that's great for people who want to go and get it. And the our accountant, Gary, great accountant, by the way, if anyone wants to get the money done. he's already got the club. He's got a club view seat already, and he was telling me about the details they go over. You know, when you've decided to get it, they just give you like every bit of information that you need for it. You know, what you want to do in the game, what you want to do beforehand, and all that, because they open those pubs in there. So, like, you know, if you've got a spare, well, how much is ours? Less than 800 quid, isn't it? 700 odd.
I think so. Yeah, it's not actually that much more expensive than what I'm paying now. So
yeah, same as like 750, 780, something like that. When you think about it, if you've got an extra 500 quid to go and get that, like, it sounds. I don't work for the club here, by the way. It sounds quite promising. I just wanted to refer that to. Like,
it does sound like a good sort of compromise if you can't go the full corporate, if that's what you want to do, if that's how you want to watch the game.
What are we doing?
Do you have a pint of
We've decided to go the other end, is it? Where are we going?
I'm thinking maybe North Stand now, because a lot of the South Uppers like gone on it. I don't want to go too far back. I don't want to be any further back than we are now, because that's far enough in the park. We're like at the back of the park, and that's far enough for me.
Yeah. A lot of people are getting really, really like nervous about, and not nervous, but like concerned about this, thinking, oh, where I want to sit's going to have gone. But like, when you think about it, there's thousands upon thousands, because I know Matt Floods keeps showing us the picture, doesn't he, of like what's available and what's not, because it's like when you're picking for the concert, it has the ones that are there, the ones that are taking it in grey, the other ones in green, and every time you look at it, it's like, oh, there's more going there, there's a few going over there.
I think if you want to sit somewhere, I think you'll get where you want to sit. I think the main concern for me is going to be, and someone highlighted this on Twitter the other day, is going to be the fact that you're not going to be around. You might be around totally different people now than what you've been used to at Goodison. Yeah, and that's my concern. I'd love it if they just picked everyone up where we sit now and go, right, there's your block. Yeah, well, that's gonna be lost, unfortunately, and that's one of the consequences of moving, isn't it?
Well, that's Les's concern, because he's next to me.
But it's like people are saying, aren't they? Like, I've sat here for 30 years next to really sound people, and then am I going to be next to some bell end or something when we move? And I'm sure it'll be fine. I think anyway. I think if you want to sit in whatever stand or whatever, I think you'll be all right, because there's so many more seats to choose from. But it's just that thing of not sitting next to people, isn't it? Or you've been used to sitting next to.
Just to finish on Stu's question, then,
sorry, Stu. Yeah,
any reconnaissance or testing before fully committing? I think mine is kids football. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But when I put my name forward, I didn't think it'd take over my life quite in the way it did.
Oh, it consumes it.
Took 3 days to pick a team. From Wednesday onward, before the Saturday, I'd be doing all sorts of permutation with the lads who's playing where, when they're playing, because you've got to give them equal time and stuff as well. It's not just a case of play your best team. So I think, although I loved it, I think I'd like to do a bit of testing, because I didn't realise how much of your life it would take up.
Oh, it takes up everything, doesn't it? Yeah.
Fully worth it, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just add to the question, just going back to what Stu initially said about the stadium and the ballots and all that? Let us know where you're sitting, or any trouble you've had and all that sort of thing. Not only for the fact that we want to discuss it on the Blue Room, but also because we want to know if there's any sort of thing you've got to get. Because I was going on the website and I was like, there's no way that website lasts all the way through this. There's going to be a cock up at 10 o'clock when me and you are sitting together hand in hand, Les, picking our seats, hugging each other. There's going to be an issue with someone's laptop somewhere. And then also, 100%. Let us know about anybody so far who's gone for the direct debit option compared to buying it outright. Has there been any issues with that as well? Because obviously you've got to go through. Is it still premium credit that are doing it, Pete?
I'm not actually sure, to be honest. We just paid ours off, so
yeah, I presume it'll be premium credit there. Who in several years gone by, I've had some really bad issues with them in terms of all of the girls, like my wife, her 2 sisters, have had to take their names to get mine for no reason whatsoever, because I've been just sort of said you can't get them, even though you've paid them religiously at the same time of every month. So just wondering if anyone lets us know about that, because it's like an interesting, not just interesting, it probably helps people out, doesn't it, if we have a chat about it.
Let us know before Feb 12th, defo. Right, Warren, go ahead.
Going back to Stu's question, do you know, I'm lazy in the sense that, do you know, obviously something I like clothes-wise online, and because I'm not I don't really go to shops anymore and buy clothes from the shops unless I see something I really like. But I'm too lazy to order it, and then like I'm kind of in between sizes. Some stuff I'm a small, some stuff I'm a medium, and then I'll get it and it's either too big or it's too tight or whatever. But I haven't got the energy to then send it back to them because I'm too busy for that. So I put off buying clothes just for that reason, because I can't be bothered to do it, and I should be better at it, and I should be better at testing it, but I'm not.
No one goes out anymore, do they? Everything's online. Do you ever go out to buy clothes?
I see some, but I see some really nice stuff that I think, oh, that'll be nice, but it might not fit me. I'll leave it then. Do you know what I mean? And I should just go, right, I'll get that, and if it doesn't fit me, I'll send it back and get the next one up, instead of being so lazy and thinking it's a big issue when it's not.
I do still appreciate a nice shopping trip. Pete, have you got one for this?
Every ex-girlfriend I've ever had, wish I could have vetted them first. Would have saved me a lot of hassle and probably my hair.
They sitting next to you at Bramley Moor, are they all in one line? That one person.
They probably say the same thing about me, to be fair, though. So.
We will finish on that, Pete. Nice one. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Warren. Cheers, Pete. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We'll catch you next time on Mailbag.